Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Technique Thursday to share with you creating cards using intricate dies. So this card is featuring the beautiful Vine Design stamp set, but really what we're showcasing here is the flowering vine dies, which I've got, didn't bring it over here, but these are the other pieces that aren't being used. So there's a circle, an oval, and a rectangle. And here is the rectangle. And then all of these beautiful sentiments. I love these sentiments so much. I chose Thinking of You, but on this card you could go with any of the long and skinny one. You know what? You probably could even fit the happy birthday. So I love how the die becomes the focal point of this card. And I think it's just a very beautiful card that if you like to die cut, it doesn't require much stamping. So it's a pretty simple one. So I'm going to show you how I did this. So let me bring in my supplies and we're gonna make it. So let's get this where it belongs. Okay, so I cut out the rectangle intricate die using mint Macaron and our amazing Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This was a single pass cut. The machine is works so well with intricate dies. I'm always blown away when I can get it done in one pass. And then I took the dies that correspond. Now let's see here if I got them all. So on this particular die, the big flower was in Bumble Bee, and that goes in the middle. Then I cut out 6 of this flower, and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. These two are just cut in half. Then there's 2 of this baby flower, which I did in rich razzleberry. So I ran 5 passes with it so that I got 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And now that's where we're at, and we're gonna walk through how I put it together. So let me just move these so that they don't get lost, because that happens. Okay, so I already put down the Bumblebee on the mint Macaron. I don't know if that's how it's said. Personally, I struggle with this color sometimes, so I actually asked Chris her opinion on what color scheme I should go with. And when she said it, I'm like, oh man. But I like to challenge myself to work outside of my comfort zone sometimes. So I'm really glad she made that suggestion, because I think the color scheme is perfect for this design. So when you're using intricate dies, sometimes it can be hard to adhere to it. So my tip here for this card is to use the Silicone Mat, to use a sponge dauber and our liquid glue. Now, when you do a sponge or a sponge dauber with glue, either designate it as your glue sponge or make sure before it dries, you give it a really good washing out. Otherwise, next time you bring it into your ink pad, you're going to potentially bring some of that gluey residue in and start to ruin your ink pad, which of course we do not want to do. So then all you do is dab the ink onto the intricate die and then place your pieces where you would like them to go. So I'm going to finish that up. And I did, like I said, work ahead, and I got all of the Bumblebee ones put down already. Okay, so the last pieces are gonna go into place. Now, when I did this the first time for my sample card, I kind of started shifting my mint piece around, and I was getting glue on the front. So just make sure you give yourself enough workspace, because that's what I didn't do. So I was trying to maneuver around things, and it got to be a sticky mess. So I suggest you leave your base piece in one spot, put your glue down in all the various places, and then when it's done, lift it up, and your glue mess should be mostly contained. There will be spots on the front that have a little bit of gluey residue on it, but it won't be near as out of control as my first sample was. That is why we make a sample, so I can learn and share with you all the tips and tricks. So now that this is all adhered, now I have larger spaces where I can put glue more easily. Otherwise, if you wanted, while you still had your silicone mat out here, you could just go and put that glue sponge over the whole back of it. That is up to you. But what I did was I took my liquid glue and then I just put little piles of glue on all of the colored pieces that we just adhered. Not too much, because you don't want it to ooze out. That always is fun. Okay, oops, one more. Then I put it on a die cut stitched rectangle, centered it. That is basic white. Now my basic white stitched rectangle is dimensionalized off of a Mint Macaron card base. It's a vertical opening card base, so it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. On my sample, I used the subtle embossing folder, so you can see that difference. I didn't know if I liked it or needed it, maybe is more of what I'm trying to say here. I didn't know if, it kind of detracted from the intricate design of the die. So I decided on my second one, the one that I'm making with you right now, that I wasn't going to do that, just to see the difference. Because it's a subtle embossing folder, it is so subtle that I'm not bothered by it. I actually do like that subtle texture in the background. But that's the difference there. Then I took the Crinkle seam binding ribbon, wrapped it around twice, made a double bow using the wonderful bow maker. And now I'm going to take a glue dot and put it on my ribbon. Go ahead and place my bow. Trim my edges. Here, now you've seen all of my scissors. Gotta have the 3 scissors. Okay. And then, let's see here. What else do we need to finish this card? The other things that I did was I took rich razzleberry ink using the Thinking of You sentiment from the Vine Design stamp set, centered it in the bottom, and last but certainly not least, took the pearls. I started with the largest pearl in the largest flower, then I went to the next size and put them in all of the Bumble Bee flowers, and last I took the smallest size, oopsies, and put that in the half flowers. Now I could as well put the pearls in the razzleberry flowers, the mini flowers. I just didn't know if that was gonna be too much, and after I was done with this step, I looked at it and I thought the pearls added such a beautiful finishing touch that I loved it just as it was, and I decided to leave it just as that. So what do you think of today's Technique Thursday card? I love it. Like I said, I kind of worked out of my comfort zone in the color scheme. I think it's so regal and beautiful. Also, Vine Design is not a stamp set and die set that initially stuck out to me. So I kind of challenged myself to use it and was really pleased with the results. So do you have any stamp sets like that you kind of overlook the first 10 times you look through the catalog, and then eventually you come back to and are just so happy that either you purchased it or made a card with it by borrowing it or signing up for a class? I just think it's such a beautiful set that has a lot of potential. I'm excited to try things with the other shapes, like the circle and the oval, that are in the set. And when I stumbled upon this technique, can't even remember what I called it at the beginning of this video, but when I stumbled upon it, I was so happy that I busted out the set and made something beautiful with it. Speaking of which, let's flip down. Chris had these beautiful cards that were part of a customer swap, or not a customer swap, a swap card that she was in that features this bundle. And I thought these were really beautiful uses of it as well. This one shows off the pearlescent paper. Might be a little hard for you to see. I'll try to kind of shimmy that. But I think that is a really nice use. And of course, here's the opal round, which goes really great with that pearl paper. And here, again, we have the pearls with this beautiful floral DSP in the background. I love it. So check out this bundle if it wasn't one that initially caught your attention, because I'm a fan now. I've learned to love it. So I hope you have a great Technique Thursday, and we will catch you later.